So we're going to go through hip external rotation in a standing pigeon position. We have Olivia here today. She's going to demo on her bad hip, which is a little bit more limited than her good side. So we get Olivia on the table here. She's going to come into hip external rotation. And what you're probably familiar with is in the past, if you've done any yoga, the setup would be more this knee to the side here. What we're looking for with this is we want to line up her knee right in front of her hip. As you can notice, her pelvis is in a straight, squared up position to the surface that her foot is resting on, and there is a gap between her knee and the surface. So we're going to fill that gap so that we end up supporting her knee with a couple yoga blocks. Now what I'm going to get her to do is we're going to see if we can get her into her end range. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get her to try to bow the stretch on this right side. So she's going to place her hand on the outside of her pelvis, and she's going to push her pelvis towards the side that she's trying to open up. Second thing we're going to see is, can she get into an anterior pelvic tilt? So what I'm going to have her do is she's going to take her tailbone and she's going to try to pull it up towards the ceiling, trying to keep her back nice and long and strong. At the same time, she's going to try to hip hinge forward to find that end range. And we're trying to create space through this glute tissue underneath the hip as well as onto the side. So Olivia, do you feel a stretch there?
Oh yeah.
Great. So I'm going to ask Olivia to stay here for 90 seconds. And then we're going to go through our PAILS and rails. Because this is a video, I'm not going to have her stay here for that full 90 seconds. But let's explain her PAILS and rails first. So her PAILS contraction is going to be her trying to internally rotate from her hip joint. And to do that, she's going to think about bringing her foot down into the box, through the box, swinging through towards me. Her rails contraction is going to be the reverse. She's going to try to actively pull deeper into hip external rotation by trying to pull the foot up and bring the foot or knee downwards. And the motion she's trying to get is actually from the hip joint versus just the foot and knee moving. So I want her to think about using that glute tissue and creating that rotation through her hip joint. The whole time she wants to stay at her end range here in that anterior pelvic tilt, that hip hinge forward, as well as that bowed stretch position. So let's run through a PAILS contraction, Olivia. Let's start actively trying to bring that foot through the box, sweeping through towards me, hip internally rotate, about 20% effort, ramp it up to 40, 60, 80, 100% effort for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently come off. Let's do the reverse. We've got rails. External rotation of the hip joint. Staying strong through the rest of the body. Thinking about rotating through that hip joint. Foot's going up, knees going down. Ramping up to 100% for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently relax.